Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm super excited. Besides, today is Monday. It's a different kind of Monday. But today marks the very first episode of Simone's Sip and Share. And we are talking about business and AI and what the new quarter may look like for you. So you are more than welcome to ask your questions, and I'm looking forward to answering them as well. And what is really exciting about today is that when I think about AI, it excites me. And most people don't get it, right? They're like, I'm not understanding the enthusiasm. I'm not understanding the excitement. And it really stems from being able to do more with your time. And if you're anything like me, busy mom, a parent, a business owner, these things are really critical. I don't have time to duplicate all of my efforts over and over again. If that makes sense and that resonates with you, just post time in the chat. You can't duplicate yourself, right? And so if you, let's say you're on a project and you've already taken 2 hours to review this project and you realize you have to do this all over again. And just imagine you don't have 2 hours to replicate this process. But if you have the right AI tool, it can cut down that time quite a bit and everything completely looks different for you. And that is what excites me about AI. Not only that, there's the creativity that you can pull together. So, hey everyone, if you're just stopping in, I'm Simone with the Pelly. I'm glad that you're here with me, and I appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time today. So, today, as I mentioned, marks the first episode of Simone's Sip and Share, and we're talking about different tips and tools and then also what your new quarter may look like. And this is that perfect moment when we discover something changes everything. The one thing, the one click. It seems complicated to some business owners, and I listen to what they're saying and I totally understand their struggle. And then when I get a deeper understanding of what their issue is, I'm like, I know exactly how to fix it. I get it because I've been in the trenches. I totally understand what they're going through. And today really is that day. And here's why I have spent months, I mean, months, years testing every AI tool I can get my hand on, and then also testing a strategy. So we're not talking about a hack, guys. I'll tell you why we're not talking about a hack. A hack is just something that it can get you a little bit to your next spot, or either it'll kind of hold you over a little bit, right? We're talking about a strategy. A strategy means that there's already a plan that I have crafted and put together. If you think about Legos and you're building that perfect masterpiece, that's what the strategy looks like. And I finally cracked the code for something huge. How huge? Well, if I told you you could transform your entire LinkedIn presence, client acquisition, and content strategy in just 4 days, you'd be like, "Mm, is this true?" It is true. No fluff, no nonsense, no BS. I'm not a BS kind of lady, so I certainly won't serve that up for you. But before I reveal all the details of what's coming, I want to kind of share with you why this is different from anything that you've seen before. Last week was wild. I was working with a client and we were in a mastermind session and we're getting all of her ducks in a row, making sure she has what she needs so she can excel. And I use AI to create a year's worth of LinkedIn content in 47 minutes. And not just any content. I'm talking about carousels, posts, thought leadership pieces, engagement hooks, and it felt authentic to her voice. And that's the biggest issue. A lot of people are concerned with AI. They don't want to look fake or phony or, worried about, oh, how am I going to come across? But if you have the right tool and you're positioned, the information to implement with your strategies and your systems accordingly, it's going to come across exactly the way that you need it to. And get this, according to a recent study by Statista, 89% of B2B marketers use LinkedIn for lead generation, and 62% say it generates leads for them. So just having a strong LinkedIn presence, it's crucial, right? And we're talking way beyond a thumbnail or what your picture looks like, or if you have the open for work banner. We're talking deeper than that. And then here's the kicker though. The McKinsey predicts that generative AI will boost labor productivity by an average of 1.5% per year through 2040. So that's adding trillions of dollars to a global economy. If you are looking at the trends, you see where the numbers are pointing. They're pointing in the direction of generative AI. So what makes generative AI different is that they're funding it. They are putting their money where their mouth is. So if LinkedIn is already using different tools and they've already incorporated generative AI into the LinkedIn platform, they're already several steps ahead. So if you're just thinking about it, all you have to do is follow the breadcrumbs, right? And so this means that for your business, imagine reclaiming hours each week, automating those tedious tasks, and then focusing on what truly drives your business forward. And that's the power of generative AI. And that's what I'm going to share with you in this challenge. So when I started sharing these AI strategies over a year ago, what people didn't understand is that AI had already been out for years. We just hadn't been talking about it, and we hadn't had this type of access right at our fingertips that we have now. But the AI strategies that I shared in a recent workshop, we had over 742 business owners show up live. Why? Because this isn't just about using AI, it's about using it strategically to grow your business. It's not about just testing and playing around in an AI platform, but understanding how can you implement this AI platform that you want to use into the rest of your business so it becomes seamless. So rather than you sitting at the computer and manually thinking, I need to create content, what am I going to create content about today? I want to be looked at as a thought leadership. What do I need to do to figure that out? I've already done all of the hard work for you, and I'm proving my history based on my events and AI strategies. So we're not talking about hacks. We're not talking about one-offs. We're talking about an actual system. And on top of that, I am leveraging all of my 20 plus years of healthcare business development that will help you to get you in the right direction, where I have managed multi-billion-dollar verticals. So we're not looking at just implementing a one-off strategy. We're talking about a whole plan. And within a couple of weeks, I had someone, just after a couple of discovery calls, they were booked and sending clients their way. And this is without even sending a direct message. So there are a lot of different ways. You can chase it or you can let it come to you, right? We want to position you so that you are ready for opportunities. And that's exactly what my 4-day challenge is going to do for you. So I want you to drop in the comments if you've ever spent hours staring at a blank LinkedIn post, even with the AI helping you out. And it's like, okay, well, what do I do next? I'm going to take to the chats and see if we have any questions, because I want to make sure I don't leave anyone out. Yes, I prefer to look at it on my phone, because I know I will not miss anything here. Time, that's right, Teresa. Time, Yolanda, time. Do I have enough time in a day? That absolutely not. And I want you to be honest, before we go any further. I want you to tell me what might be the very first thing that pops into your head that really makes you think, AI may not be for me. What would that be? If it was that one word, what would it be? Does it scare you? Is it that you don't understand how to use it? Or is it that you're already using it, but you think that you can be more efficient at it? I would love to know what your thoughts are on that. And if you can just post that in the chat for me. And also let me know exactly where are you joining from around the world. Let me know where you're at, what part of the world are you in. I would love to connect with you and making sure that we're continuing to build on this platform together, because we can always learn, we can always grow, right? So, what I'm thrilled to announce is the AI Business Breakthrough Challenge. Now, I've seen some others that are similar, but it's not what I have built and what I've created and what I have strategically aligned and tested and tested and tested. But I want you to know that it starts tomorrow. And this isn't your typical, here are some AI tools workshop. This is a complete system for automating your LinkedIn presence while still staying authentic. It also is creating a client acquisition pipeline that works 24/7. Someone said, Simone, I wanted to book clients for me when I'm sleeping. I said, I got you. I understand what you mean. And yes, we can absolutely create that for you. And we're not talking about violating any of LinkedIn's rules because we know how important it is to stay connected, right? How important it is to have networking at your tips, to have all of the clients that you have been communicating with and to build relationships. So people are focused more on bank and showing you money for LinkedIn. People are people on LinkedIn. They're not banks. They're not ATM machines. There are folks who are looking for services that you may have to offer that aligns exactly with what they may need. They are also businesses, right? They're regular, everyday people, and we want to treat them as such. So it's important to build a content strategy that resonates with that. And it doesn't require always showing your face. Perhaps it's just really about focusing on what's important and making sure that you resonate well. And that could be through a number of different ways. I say video, I'm okay with video. Let's jump on video. Let's get it done, right? There's always a strategy for that as well. But the best part of this challenge is that we're going to do it together, step by step, over just 4 days. And the other thing that when I was creating this, what was really important to me, and I'm going to drop it in the chat, is that I wanted to make sure that I'm not leaving a lot of homework. There are many challenges that I have participated in, and I'm also leveraging my $15,000 of high-end courses that I have taken from some of your very large, well-known coaches and entrepreneurs and businesses from around the world, and I've packed it into this challenge. But one of the biggest things that I've noticed that there's always a lot of homework. And I understand that sometimes homework is necessary, but it also can be a deterrent because people are worried about when am I going to get to this homework? Now I just created more work. And then also the other issue is that now, where do I even start? So accountability is key. Okay. Accountability is key. And that's why we work through these programs and we're going to work through these strategies with workshops together from day one. And I know how super critical that is. I was like, oh, I've got homework to do. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to get through it. And if I am, do I understand the material enough for me to implement it? Because it really is about taking action. It's not about collecting another course. It's not about spending time in spaces that don't necessarily resonate or work with you. It truly is about making sure that you're implementing these strategies that we're going to be reviewing over the next 4 days so that you can make a difference within your business. I've talked to busy parents, moms, dads alike, busy owners. Some of them are serial entrepreneurs. They just don't have enough time in the day. And so why would you work harder when you already know that there's tools out there that could streamline your process? It's because you are super brilliant, extremely intelligent business owners, and you understand that it doesn't just take knowing that there's a solution, but understanding how to implement that solution. And that's where we come into this 4-day challenge and making sure that you understand exactly what you need to do. I'm also going to post the challenge into the chat for you. I want you to go ahead and sign up for it. Like I said, we're going to be meeting tomorrow and it's 4 days. So it's going to start on Tuesday. It goes all the way through to Friday. We're going to be rocking and rolling. We're going to have some fun while we're in it and we're going to keep it exciting. But most importantly, I'm going to make sure that you implement these strategies and make it a foundation that you can build on. The best part about this is that it's free. It doesn't cost you anything at all to join. And so it's free. I'm utilizing my expertise. We're leveraging AI and we're going to make it happen. Okay, so if you want to be a part of that, definitely go ahead and sign up for it. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. I also see some folks. I have Atlanta in the house. I have Ohio in the house. Hey, folks, good to see you. Atlanta, we have to set up in-person sip date. I'm right here in Atlanta with you, so that would be super exciting as well. So let me go ahead and make sure I've got this posted here. Okay, excellent. You know, you want to make sure I don't miss anything while I'm covering so much at one time. Good. All right. So anyone have any questions for me? Because I'd love to be able to answer some questions here. And then I also want to review what Miss Yolanda is saying. She says that I encourage clients to use AI to level the playing field and to come to me as content writers to partner with them to craft their projects. Now, I love this, Miss Yolanda, because this is important. One of the things that I was talking about just this morning is that people don't truly understand the importance of storytelling. And you see a lot of things that start with, in a time and a land far, far away. That actually used to be a compelling beginning. And now with generative AI, sometimes, unfortunately, it's giving the same copy to everyone. And you need that trained eye. You need someone who's like yourself who understands, okay, well, we need to put a spin on it. And then we also need to personalize it, right? So as you're telling your story, you're telling folks about where you're from, what's important to them, what's important to you. I think that writing is a big part of it. And the fact is, we're not all writers. We all do not know how to write, okay? And even when I first started just in business alone, I was like, okay, well, how are we going to make this come together? We have events, that we're putting out for clients. We have events for patients. We have events for staff members. We want it to be phenomenal. So the copy has to be good. But then if you carry that over into marketing, that is even more critical. One of the things that my advisor said is she says, look, everything is marketing. Okay. You have to keep that in mind. From the time that you send someone a message, it's marketing, and not necessarily selling someone, but just understanding that this is an extension of yourself, right? This is your brand that you're putting out there. So you want to make sure that your brand is showing the way that you need it to. Pardon me. Right. So everything is it all ties into marketing and branding and client acquisition. And if you understand that going in day one, everything that you do is going to be completely different. Everything that you do, it's like, oh, it's an eye opener, because now instead of you just writing, hey, come and see me, it would be more like, we have a wonderful atmosphere that we love for you to indulge in. And it's exactly what you've always wished for. And then you're making sure that you're able to come through on the other end, meaning your descriptors are not just words, but you're able to actually implement this into someone's experience. Can I get them to feel this way? I remember a while back, I was like, well, I don't think I can get someone to experience that. You absolutely can. I was wrong about that. Because if you are positioning your sales copy or your marketing or your wording just so, and then you're also following through, you can do that. I don't know how many of you are guilty like me. When you walk into a restaurant and you're looking at the colors and you're looking at the atmosphere and the ambiance, that sometimes it's off-putting. You're like, you know what? I heard the food is phenomenal here, but I can't eat here. I can't. I'm not vibing with the vibes. They're not matching. They don't align with how I'm feeling right now, right? Well, if you're anything like me, that all ties also into marketing. It ties into the psychological aspect on how people think, how they interact, what's important to them when they enter in a space. So as a business owner, these are things that you also want to connect and resonate with. And then Teresa also says that AI is definitely for me. That means she is not timid. She is not shy. She says, I just want to be sure that my AI is the smartest and most updated version of Intel. I like that she says that, and comprehension available. So this is critical because be it people get caught up in the allure of AI, and it gives you so much information and it's so enticing. You're like, oh, this is awesome. But sometimes it also can give you too much information. It doesn't make any sense. It may not even be relevant to the journey that you're currently in. So having a trained eye and being able to understand the different pieces of information that generative AI may give you is super, super important. I've seen people like, okay, well, I've got a super great marketing copy, or I've got a great strategy, or I have something that I want to implement, using LinkedIn. But the thing that they forget about is that maybe it does not align with their business. Maybe that there's a break in continuity. That's important also, because that can also throw your brand off. And then also, are they speaking to is it speaking to your background? Is it speaking to your historical ideologies? Sometimes that doesn't match. Perhaps you create a copy and maybe is using terms or phrases that is not consistent with you personally or your brand. So these are things that are important. It's not just I created generative AI, some copyright, and I'm just going to copy and paste. There's more to it. There's an entire strategy. So in the 4-day challenge is exactly what I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it away for free. There's no gatekeeping here. I'm going to show you some of the strategies that I have learned along the way, some that I've taught myself behind the scenes. So this is a closed room strategy. We're not going to be having training out here on LinkedIn. However, you can get to the link, and I have posted it there for you in the chat. I'm going to be on just for a couple more minutes before we get ready to wrap up. But I also want to make sure that I'm getting folks to understand that now is the time. Now is the time for you, if you haven't already, began to look at LinkedIn a little bit differently. It's time for you to look at AI a little bit differently, because if the world of business around you is showing that this is what's happening for you, it's critical for you to pay attention. And if you're in business, then you understand what your KPIs look like, right? You understand what your metrics are like. This is no different. Understanding the trends and then seeing that it's time to shift is super, super critical. And so now is your time for you to do that. And it's even easier because I'm going to show you how. And if everyone else is saying, well, people are losing jobs, that's not the reason to do it. The reason to do it is to make sure you have the power. Make sure you have the power and the understanding of what AI can do for you and how it can benefit you. One of the biggest turns for me on LinkedIn is when I started taking it seriously. And I started looking more at AI, not just as someplace where I drop an application and I go looking for jobs, but it's actually where I cultivate a space that is specific to me, my background, my history, my knowledge, my experiences, and then also interacting with other people that are not like-minded, which is what I love so much. And when I say not like-minded, there are thousands and thousands of professionals right here on this platform that I can easily strike a conversation with at any given moment. And we're learning from each other. And when I get to spaces where people feel like they can only send information, meaning that they feel like they are the epitome of knowledge and there is nothing else that they can gain, they become stagnant. So you have to continue to learn. You have to continue to build. You have to continue to figure out exactly how can you grow your brand. How can you get in front of your brand? And there's just a lot of different ways that you can do it, even within LinkedIn and some of the AI infrastructure that they've built in, that's helpful, but you've got to go way beyond that as well, because now we're looking at making sure that you're personalizing your brand, that there's brand continuity. I've worked with brands from around the globe, and there's not one brand that exactly alike. I could talk to someone in a different country, and then I can talk to someone right here in the States, and they're still not alike, despite there being some overlap. So just keeping that in mind is that you don't have to worry about oversaturation, because there is no one that looks exactly like you, talks like you, walks like you, knows what you know. And this is where your leverage is. And so you want to turn this AI, the concepts of it, into an entire strategy, into a system, which is why I talk about that all the time. So it's not good enough to just know exactly where your starting point is. You have to also have the foresight to understand where your business is going to be going. And if you need to pivot, you've already implemented different levels of strategies within your business that's going to help you to get there. So it's not like, oh my gosh, it's a prize. It's a huge surprise. I didn't know that, this unknown crazy thing was going to happen. But it doesn't matter that you didn't know. Why? Because you've already prepared for it. You already knew it was coming, and now it's here, and you're ready, right? That's what preparation does. So that's what we're all about doing: preparation, implementing a strategy that works, making sure that it's consistent and personalized to you and your business. So that's all I have time for. I wanted to make sure that I came out here and share that with you. I'm super excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing you show up. I do have limited seats. Last time this thing sold out in probably about I think it took maybe 3 days, and I didn't have any more seats left. And I like to keep it personalized. So that's important also, because we're doing a deep dive and making sure that we're understanding your unique needs, and that we're offering you a system, a strategy, a program that actually benefits you, so that long beyond this 4-day free challenge that I'm offering, that you can continue to use and implement these strategies moving forward, and that you can continue to add to them, and making sure that you remain advanced in this fast technology world that continues to move. Whether you decide to move with it, it's still moving. It's like that train that just took off without you. So until next time, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time, and take care, folks.